Okay, Rob here. I'm not in college this week because I've got a bad back. Hopefully, I'll be back in next week. In the meantime, remember that from now on, you are not going to be an M239 anymore. Your project work is finished. It should have all been handed in. It's got to be done completely, totally finished by the 31st of January 2020. Because I've had a bad back, I've not been able to mark it yet, but I'm going to mark it over the next week or so, and I'm going to email you my feedback. You need to make changes to it, but you're not going to get a chance to do that in class. You're going to have to do it in your study periods. So, if you've got any questions, queries, or need any help, email me and let me know. From now on, we'll be working on component 2, so we're going to be in M236 from now on, not M239. Just to remind you, you are not allowed to have your phones on in class, unless I tell you otherwise. You will be doing a lot of Kahoots as well this year, so make sure you've downloaded the Kahoot app. Make sure your phone is on airplane mode, preferably. I also don't want to see any headphones. No one's going to be listening to music in my classes. Also, you are not allowed any food and drink in class except water, so I don't want to see that either. Bear in mind that your attendance and punctuality are going to be rigorously enforced. We've got this knock and wait policy now, so let's make sure you're turning up on time. It's slightly acceptable to be late at 9 o'clock if you've got bus problems or something, or traffic, but it's not acceptable at any other time of the day. Okay, don't forget you are going to need to be doing flip learning. I will be sending out a copy of the scheme of work. I need to change the scheme of work because me and Simon have changed the way we're going to do it. But basically, it's going to be in columns. It'll tell you what week it's in. The yellow column tells you what flip learning you've got to do. So the flip learning for this that you've got to do this week will be for what we do in class the week after. This tells you what we'll be doing in every lesson. Blue is what deadlines you've got that week. Green is whatever homework you might have. It is vitally, absolutely vitally important you do the flip learning. We are not going to have time to cover any content in class. You are going to need your textbook as well. You'll need that pretty much every lesson. Obviously, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be giving you work to do in class. You're going to be writing a lot of essays in class. Okay? Your study periods are going to be needed to catch up with your project work this month, making improvements. Remember, it's going to be done by the 31st of January. When it comes to support workshops, if you submit all of your work, if you submit it all on time and your work is meeting your target grade, you will not have to come to support sessions. If, however, your work does not meet your target grade, you will have to come to support sessions, which of course is going to be on a Monday at 12:15. You will be seating plans. You will be regularly moved around. You're going to be doing a fair amount of group work. You're also going to be doing a lot of peer marking with study buddies. You're also going to be self-assessing your work as well. This is not because I think it's fun, but because it improves your grades by 1.5 to 2 grades. This has been scientifically proven. All of the resources you need will be on Moodle, in terms of handouts, PowerPoints, PDFs, various bits of flip learning that you will need. Any other resources are going to be available on our YouTube channel. I will send you a link to this. You need to sign up for it. It's very important. You are going to be expected to make your own notes. Graphic organisers are a particularly good way of doing this. They've been proven to improve your grades by a couple of grades. 3, in fact. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of work in class. You're not going to get an awful lot of homework in terms of essays to do or anything. We're going to do those in class, but you will have to do the flip learning. Okay? This is not optional. It has to be done. It's vitally important. Otherwise, you will not pass the course. I will not be giving you grades for your work. Well, that's not entirely true. I'll be giving you grades. I just won't be telling you what they are. I'll be recording a grade for it. But you will only be given a grade when you get your gradebook feedback. This will be based on an average of all the grades you've been getting all year, as well as the specific gradebook assignments. These are the first year ones, but you've been given this already. You've been given a dirt folder which has got all of the essays you need to do on it. So what are we going to be doing this year? Well, we're currently starting Component 2. There are 2 exams, Component 1 and Component 2. Everything you did in the first year was for Component 1, and everything we're doing this year will be for Component 2. I highly recommend that you go back and you revise all the stuff about basic film language, because I'm sure you've forgotten it all by now, and you need to know it really well to do these films. So the films, for the first film we're going to start off looking at is this week, and that's Stories We Tell. Stories We Tell is a really good documentary. So what we'll be focusing on here is the difference between realism and expressionism, how digital filmmaking technology has affected documentary, and this is the only real section you need a lot of theory for, other than auteur theory from the first year. But we're going to be analysing this film in relationship to the theories of particularly people like Nick Broomfield and, more importantly, Peter Watkins. But whilst you don't need theory for the rest of it, it helps if you've got some. Then we're going to be doing global film. For global film, we're going to be looking at 2 movies. We're going to be looking at the Turkish film Mustang and the Iranian film Taxi Tehran. Again, we're going to be looking at how film form creates meaning and response for the audience, and we're going to be putting that into context in terms of cultural, societal, representations, things like that. We're also going to be doing silent cinema. We're looking at Buster Keaton shorts. In particular, we're looking at the films The High Sign, Cops, 1 Week, and The Scarecrow, all of which are available for free on YouTube. Oh, they tend to have terrible music. Again, we're looking at how film form in silent movies differ from those in sound films and more contemporary ones. But we're also going to be looking at the social context, critical debates, audience responses, those kind of things as well. The last thing we're going to be doing is experimental film, and the film we're going to be looking at is Wong Kar-wai's Hong Kong movie Fallen Angels. This will be in terms of, again, film form, aesthetics, how narrative works, and how that relates to auteur theory. So as you can see, film form is very important for all of these, so you need to look at that again and remember and learn all those in as much detail as you can. There are entire playlists that I have put on YouTube covering that, and I've also put playlists on YouTube covering all of the various films. Well, that's not entirely true. I haven't done Mustang and Taxi Tehran yet, because they're different choices to what I did last year. So that's a basic rundown of what we're going to be doing this year. If you've got any questions, you can email me and I will get back to you, or you can ask me when I see you in class.